Hey guys, it's me, Danny, and on this episode, I'm going to get you started playing the drums. I'm going to have you rocking by the end of this episode, promise. It's all in this episode of Everything 101. Let's get to it. All right, guys, so welcome to this first drum lesson. So in this episode, what I want to do is just give you a drum beat that I want you to try. I want you to work on it and get it down, because this drum beat is the standard drum beat that all drummers learn when they first start playing. And if you can get this drum beat down, you're going to have a huge start on so many songs, because so many songs use this drum beat. It's kind of the base, the foundation of all drum beats. And so I'm going to teach it to you, and I want you to work on it. I want you to allow your brain some time to process it, because at first it's going to feel really strange. It's going to feel weird. You're going to be like, you might even say, I don't know if I can do this, but I promise you, you can. Okay, so first thing I want to do is start out by talking about the parts of the drum set so that you can identify what each drum does, know your way around the drum kit. First of all, I'm using some Pro Mark sticks, and you can get different sizes. These are just some standards. Go pick out some drum sticks that you feel are comfortable for you to start with, and later on you can switch to bigger size, smaller size, whatever. But go and get some that you feel are comfortable to you. Now, when you hold your drumsticks, I've seen people hold them up here, and what you want to do is put your hand down here near the bottom, not all the way, so that the stick is inside your hand. You're going to be more likely to drop it like that and not have as much control. But you want to grip the bottom of the sticks like this. And one of the things you want to remember is that you don't want to just be rigid and tense up like this. Have some, have some flexibility. Let your hands be a little loose. If you just tense up, you're going to wear yourself out playing the drums. And so you want to be kind of relaxed. Grip the sticks so that you're not throwing them around. And so don't throw them out in the audience yet until you get really famous. But you want to make sure that you have your sticks gripped but kind of loose. And let your arms kind of be loose, okay? All right. Now, let's go over the parts of the drum set. Now, down here, this is our kick drum, also called the bass drum. A lot of people just call it a kick, all right, because you're kicking it, okay? Now, this right here is your snare. This is what's going to help you keep just the normal straight beat that I'm going to teach you in just a minute. Now, over here, this is your hi-hat. It's the two cymbals together, and I'm holding the pedal down so that the cymbals are together, because when I let them go, I get that loose sound like that. All right, and this is a mounted tom. This is a tom. This is a floor tom. All right, and you can use those for fills and also as a foundation for a beat sometimes, but we'll get into that later. Now, right over here, typically above your snare and your hi-hat is your crash cymbal. That's what you're going to hit in certain times of the song for emphasis. And then I got another one over here, and then right here is a ride cymbal. Now, this ride cymbal is going to be used instead of the hi-hat sometimes, but we'll get to all that later. Now, you might be playing on an acoustic set, you might be playing on an electronic set. Either one is cool to learn on, no problem. This one is triggered, so you can run it through a processor and get a really cool sound out of it. But we can talk about that in future episodes. Let's jump right in to that drum beat, okay? Now, again, what we're going to do is we're going to use 3 drums today. We're not going to use the toms and all the cymbals yet. We'll do that in the next episode, okay? But what we're going to use is the hi-hat with our right hand. Now, if you're a left-handed drummer, just flip all this around, okay? But right-handed drummers, going to be most of you, you're going to use your right hand right here on the hi-hat, okay? So it's going to be playing the hi-hat. We'll talk about how to hit it in just a minute and when to hit it. Your left hand is going to be your snare hand, okay? So we're going to use it to keep the beat when we learn the beat in just a minute. We're going to use this to keep the beat. All right, now, my right foot is on the kick, okay? And my left foot is holding down the hi-hat pedal, okay? Making sure my cymbals are together. Now, later on, sometimes we'll open them up a little bit to get a little extra kick in our rhythm, a little extra I don't know what you want to call it. Just kind of adds a really cool touch to the beat. All right. So here we go. Let's start this up. This is what I want you to do. I want you to first start just thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just kind of get a rhythm in your head. You can go as fast as you want. I recommend a little slower right now, okay, until you let your mind process this. But just be thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 over and over, because we're just going to keep repeating 1, 2, 3, 4 in our head. That's the beat, that's the count we're going to have, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the kick on 1 and 3, okay? So let's just try that really quick. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just keep that going on 1 and 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now work on that for a little bit until you feel comfortable with it. There's a good chance you're already comfortable with it. It's not that hard, okay? Now, our snare is going to hit, we're going to hit the snare on 2 and 4. Okay, so let's think about that. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So you can tell now that it's doing the opposite as the kick. All right, so let's try them both together really quick. Get your rhythm going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right, now we've got 2 of the 3 parts done. The next thing we need to add in is our hi-hat. Now we're actually going to play the hi-hat on what we call 1/8 notes. So instead of going like this, we're not going 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you can see I'm kind of hitting the and a little lighter. I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, but just a steady beat is all you need right now. Just keeping the time. You can work on how hard or soft you're hitting it later on, okay? Now, I want you to pick either your snare or your bass, your kick, and play with the hi-hat, all right? So I'm going to start by playing the hi-hat and the snare, okay? Now, I can do hi-hat kick, hi-hat snare. What you're doing is just trying 2 of the 3 at once, one of those being the hi-hat. Okay, we're going to work up to doing all 3 at once. So let's try the hi-hat and the snare together. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 there you go. Okay, now that you feel okay with doing the hi-hat and the snare at the same time, now try the hi-hat and the kick together. We're just doing 2 at a time. In a second, we're going to do all 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now comes the big moment. Okay, we're going to do all 3 at once. Now, I'm telling you, when you do this the first time, you might be going, I can't do this. My brain doesn't work that way. Yes, it does. You can. You can do it. What I recommend is that you slow it way down and let your brain, even if you have to look at each part as you're playing them, slow it way down and, slow it way down, let your mind process it, and then speed it up. Okay, so let's do it. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and kick and snare and kick and snare. So you can see I'm just letting my hi-hat hand just keep going without just keeping that rhythm, okay? All right, now you just keep it going. All right, Let your mind process it. Okay, and there we go. Okay, now that is, I'm gonna tell you, that's the biggest hurdle. If you find that difficult, that's the biggest hurdle that you're gonna have learning to play the drums, I promise. Once you let yourself get that, you're gonna have it down, okay? So one more time, let's try to speed it up a little bit. And if you aren't there yet, you're gonna like, I'm not ready to speed it up. You just hit pause, you're good, and you can try it later. Let's speed it up a little bit though. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Let your hands be loose. Just kind of don't tense up your arms, okay? Just kind of let yourself be kind of loose and flexible. Okay, there you go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Okay, my friends. Now, that is the basic drum beat that you need to get down. I'm telling you, if you get this down, it's going to be like 70% of everything you need to know in the drums. Okay, get that down, because in the next episode, I'm going to show you ways to modify your kick. We're going to bring in some tom fills, and we're going to also switch to the ride cymbal. Okay, that's all in the next episode. Get this down. I'm going to have you rocking in no time. Okay, well, guys, that wraps up everything for this episode of Drum Lessons on Everything 101. Be sure to click subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss any more great drum lessons, and also all kinds of other great content that comes out on the channel. All right, guys, practice your drums. I'll see you on the next episode. See you soon.